The federal election is happening on October 19th, but Alberta Premier Rachel Notley has called a by-election in Alberta for September 3rd in the riding of Calgary-Foothills, which is pretty weird to have a by-election right in the thick of summertime, before Labor Day even. Maybe she's hoping that people won't notice it or care, or maybe she herself is just too busy campaigning for Thomas Mulcair and Linda McQuaig to bother putting any serious effort into her provincial duties. I'm not kidding, the NDP really couldn't be bothered. Only 83 NDPers bothered to show up for their nomination for this by-election, and they chose some old career politician. They phoned it in, really, which is weird. You'd think they would have run a star candidate, maybe would have recruited someone from the oil patch to broaden their caucus. No. But yesterday, the Wildrose party chose its candidate, a vigorous nomination battle where 770 people voted. That's pretty impressive for a small provincial riding. Just a reminder, this whole by-election is because Jim Prentice, the former PC premier who botched the election in May, well, he won in his own riding of Calgary-Foothills, but once he couldn't be premier, he just didn't care anymore. And he literally, on election night, before all of his votes were even counted, he just bailed. He just quit in disgrace. What a loser. So it's encouraging that the Wildrose party had 770 people show up for their nomination. And they chose this guy, an engineer with the wonderful name of Prasad Panda. I'd vote for a guy named Panda just to say I did it. The fact that he's an engineer for Suncor, an oil sands company, well, that one man will have more oil and gas experience than the entire NDP caucus combined. So I'm a Panda man, obviously. And here's why it's so important that the Panda wins the prize on September 3rd. I mean, first of all, it will be the first shot in the counter-revolution. The NDP won an accidental victory in May. No one voted for the NDP. They all voted against Jim Prentice and the PCs. And the Wildrose party was so damaged by Danielle Smith's dirty deal, most Albertans didn't feel it was viable. So the NDP won by default, but they're governing as if they have a genuine policy mandate to destroy the oil sands. In the past 3 months, the NDP has attacked the oil patch by jacking up corporate tax rates 20%, by doubling the carbon tax, by announcing a hike on personal taxes for anyone who works in the oil patch, that is, anyone who makes more than $125,000 a year. And worst of all, they've started a royalty tax review, which will surely just jack up taxes again and lead to 6 months of total uncertainty in the oil patch. Translation, no one is going to invest money or hire people. So it's actually a four-pronged attack on the oil patch. My point is, this by-election, if voters chose Mr. Panda and the Wildrose, that would be a signal heard loud and clear that Albertans aren't fine with this anti-oil NDP and their anti-jobs policies. It would signal that it's okay to fight back and not sleepwalk into a recession. It would tell Albertans it is okay not to be enthralled with the NDP. And the second and equally important message would be, the old corrupt PC party is dead, so you can bury it already. You can stop trying to revive the corpse. And just as important, you can ignore all the oily backroom boys who are trying to engineer some scheme to merge the parties, just like Jim Prentice and Danielle Smith tried to do that scheme in December. If Wildrose wins in Calgary-Foothills, a riding that's voted PC in every election since the 1960s, it would prove that Wildrose is now the only conservative opposition in Alberta, and all those dirty old PCs can give up their dreams and schemes and retire to wherever Jim Prentice has retired to. Sorry, Ken Bosencool. Sorry, Jonathan Dennis. No one wants to help you get back into power. Find a real job. This September 3rd by-election is actually an incredible opportunity. If I were a conservative activist in Calgary, I'd realize that most of the city's federal MPs are pretty safe. It's Calgary, after all. Does Jason Kenney or Stephen Harper really need someone helping them out put up their millionth lawn sign to defeat Justin Trudeau? Probably not. Does Prasad Panda need help, though, to beat the NDP and the zombie PCs? You bet he does. Calgary-Foothills is actually the most important election in the city of Calgary. And it's coming up in just 3 weeks. For TheRebel.Media, I'm Ezra Levant.